Hello everyone, Weather Jamaica here. Welcome to this updated video on weather across Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean. It is Monday evening, December 30, 2024. Now before we jump into it, please ensure that you guys like the video. I'd really appreciate it if you guys get this video up to 100 likes. If you don't know by now, that's how the YouTube algorithm works. We all like the video and then the YouTube algorithm pushes the video out to more persons who are in the path of these tropical systems so that we can keep everyone safe, especially during the peak months of Atlantic hurricane season. That's August through to October. Share this video with your friends, your co-workers, your relatives, and even your church brethren, and subscribe if you haven't yet done so. Please ensure that you guys utilize the progress bar that's located at the bottom of your video, as well as the timestamps that are located not only in the comment section, but the video description, so that you can skip to the points in the video that you want to see the most in order to save time. Because know that the videos over here with the Jamaica can be very long, so it's best that you guys utilize these tools. Leave a comment down below, letting me know what that's been like in your area recently. Also, feel free to ask any weather-related question that you might have about the future of the weather in your specific area. Alright, so we're going to be looking at what the Euro and the GFS supercomputer models are showing in terms of moisture over the next 7 days. So keep your eyes focused at the timestamp right here at the top as we go out to the next one, John 68 hours. That's the next 7 days. And keep your eyes focused on Jamaica. We're going to be looking for all of this that we see on the key on the right. Degrees represents 1 inch of rainfall all the way up into the yellows, oranges, reds, all the way up to maybe 16 inches of rainfall. Let us see exactly what's going to be taking place over the next 7 days. Alright, so we're looking at the latest Euro model run that came out at 3:30 p.m. today. And we can see that as we head into Tuesday, December 31, New Year's Eve, definitely clear skies for the most part. We see whites more than anything else. We do see some moisture across the southeastern Caribbean into Costa Rica, Panama, even the ABC Islands getting in on some amount of rainfall for sure. But that's basically it. Heading into Wednesday, January 1, definitely something similar to Tuesday, little to no rainfall. But we see a few showers, isolated showers to the south of the island, maybe some of that across sections of Portland, St. Mary. We'll see exactly what unfolds. Heading into Thursday, we see some moisture across some northern portions of the island for sure. Heading into Friday, definitely less rainfall, but we see a lot of moisture to the south of us. Heading into Saturday, we still see some moisture to the south of the island. We see some moisture to the north of the island, into portion of the southern Bahamas, eastern Cuba, the Cayman Islands, Honduras, Belize, and Guatemala right there. And we see that some of it is coming into portion of northeastern Jamaica too. Heading into Sunday, definitely have some rainfall lingering across the northeast. And then we're going to be stopping it right here at the end of the 168 hours. So this is valid for 12Z on Monday, January 6th, which is actually 7 a.m. And we can see a huge ridge of high pressure right here. That's responsible for sending all of these from east to west, all of that easterly flow of low level moisture. We can see green line of showers associated with a frontal system attached to an area of low pressure across the eastern United States. But Jamaica definitely experiencing more whites than anything else. We're going to be in the clear as we begin the brand new year. And that's according to the Euro model. Let us see if we can match it to what the latest GFS supercomputer model is showing, because we know that we have to look at consensus on both of these maps in order to make the most accurate forecast. So we can see that as we head into Tuesday, definitely have less rainfall across the island, more whites than anything else. Heading into Wednesday, something similar, even although we see some rainfall, some moisture across the northern portion of the island. We didn't see that much on the Euro. Heading into Thursday, definitely less rainfall. Friday, northeastern Jamaica with some isolated showers. Heading into Saturday now, very interesting. Well, it looks to be 0-0 on Saturday, which is actually 7 p.m. on Friday. We see some moisture to the south of us. Some of this starting to come into portion of eastern parishes. Very interesting forecast. I mean, look at this 18Z on Saturday, which is actually 1 p.m. We see a lot of moisture in and around the island. We didn't see that on the Euro at all. Very interesting. We saw that mainly across the northeast. We'll see exactly what unfolds. Either way, we're heading into Sunday, northeastern Jamaica with the rainfall, and then we're heading into Monday, something similar. So we're stopping it right there and we're looking at consensus. The Euro has little to nothing across Jamaica. The GFS has a bit of something across northern Jamaica for sure, as well as the waters in the southwestern Caribbean, as well as the central to the eastern Caribbean. So I guess we have some consensus in that regard. We'll see exactly what unfolds either way in terms of the accumulated precipitation forecast from the Euro and the GFS supercomputer models for the next 7 days. We can clearly see that the most rainfall that could trigger some amount of flash flooding will be taking place across eastern Nicaragua, sections of Belize, northern Honduras, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama, into Colombia, western Venezuela, northern Venezuela, sections of eastern Venezuela, as well as Guyana, maybe Suriname, French Guiana, Trinidad and Tobago, the ABC Islands. And we see something similar on the GFS. So we just looked at the GFS. Now we're looking at the latest Euro, and we can see the very same spots having the most rainfall in those areas. And we know the most rainfall is represented by what we see on the key on the right. We're talking about the dark reds that represents 2 inches of rainfall, the purples into the pinks, that's 3 to 5 inches of rainfall, and the peach color 6 to 8 inches of rainfall. And we see a lot of the purples into the pinks across the very areas that were highlighted. So there could definitely be some isolated flash flooding taking place. But regarding the close-up of Jamaica in terms of what we're going to be getting, clearly nothing has changed. New year, same pattern. Northeastern Jamaica gonna be getting in on the brunt or the most rainfall. We see on the Euro showing the blues into the greens into the yellows, oranges and pinks that represents all the way up to 98 millimeters of rainfall. GFS a bit more reserved, showing the blues into the greens and the yellows, but all the way up to maybe 30-40 millimeters of rainfall, especially across Portland. And we see the trend is always gonna be, we're talking about St. James, Trelawney, St. Anne, St. Mary and Portland for sure getting in on the brunt of the rainfall. We know we can't rule out some of this rainfall spilling into sections of St. Thomas too. Either way, whatever happens, I'll be here to keep you all posted. If we take a look at the surface map of the Atlantic for this evening, we can see a frontal system right here across the southeastern United States into Florida. A ridge of high pressure up here, another ridge of high pressure up here. We know that they are responsible for sending all of the easterly trade winds across the main development region through the Caribbean. We still see that broad area spin across the northern portion of North Atlantic with the frontal system as well as the trough attached to it, pushing all the way down into portions of the Windward Islands as we speak. And if we take a look at the visible satellite images of the Atlantic before the sun went down, we can make out all of these entities. The clouds associated with the frontal system stretching into Florida. We can also see the low-level flow of the low-level clouds being pushed from east to west by the ridge of high pressure up north. And we can still see the spin associated with that broad area of low pressure, as well as the clouds associated with it stretching all the way down into the Windward Islands, associated with that frontal system and the trough as well. We'll be talking more about the rest of the Caribbean weather later on. Let us focus our attention on the prediction that was made in yesterday's video about the weather across Jamaica for today, Monday, December 30, 2024. First of all, it was stated that rainfall was in the forecast for parts of northern and western Jamaica last night, and we already saw the satellite imagery as well as the Doppler radar imagery at that time. Even while we were recording, we were getting in some rainfall. As a matter of fact, by around minutes to 10, there was some heavy rainfall in my part of St. Thomas for sure. Definitely slept like a baby last night. But today, definitely dry. But what was predicted was for less rainfall today for sure. But that would have gotten on some isolated shores across sections of some southern parishes on Monday afternoon. And by the way, we know that southern Jamaica, we're talking about St. Thomas, we're talking about Kingston, St. Andrew, St. Catherine, Clarendon, Manchester, St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland. And what ended up happening? Last night we definitely got that rainfall across sections of St. Anne, St. Mary, Portland, St. Andrew, St. Thomas. And we even got some across sections of Manchester and St. Elizabeth at that time. We saw the greens on the Cuban Doppler radar imagery. We know the Cuban Doppler radar shows the actual rainfall as represented by the green and the yellow. The green represents moderate, that's moderate rainfall. The yellows represents fuerte, that's stronger heavy rainfall. And this was posted at around 10:20 p.m. on our Twitter page at Weather Jamaica. And I'd like for you to keep in mind that these posts aren't only made here on our Twitter page at Weather Jamaica, but they're also made on our Instagram page at weather.jamaica, on our TikTok page at Weather Jamaica, and on our Facebook page at Weather Jamaica 876. So if you have one of those social media platforms, please ensure that you follow us there as we make posts throughout the day that you can't afford to miss. And then another post was made at around 4:41 p.m. highlighting the visible satellite image that was posted, and it highlighted the clouds that will bring some overcast skies and some isolated showers to sections of St. Elizabeth as well as Manchester. Those were the areas that we mentioned would have gotten on the rainfall according to yesterday's video, and we indeed got that, and we can see it all even better on the visible satellite images of Jamaica before the sun went down. We can definitely see the clouds right here piling up across eastern St. Elizabeth, across western Manchester for sure, and pushing southward with all of that upper level wind shear pushing up towards the east northeast. And if we take a look at the infrared, we didn't see much in the way of cumulonimbus clouds, just some high cirrus clouds being streaked up towards the east northeast, but that's basically it. And if we take a look at the Flatbridge cam, I'm not seeing much happening at 3:39 p.m. Definitely fair skies for the most part across this portion of St. Andrew. And we have at least one, not St. Andrew, St. Catherine, sorry. Yeah, Flatbridge is in St. Catherine, not St. Andrew. And we definitely have confirmation from one of our followers here on our Instagram page at Panton Giovanni, stating Spanish Town is cloudy. And it seems as if the Bagua Gorge was cloudy as well. Look at this. They don't even see the sunshine over here. And we can even see that the Rio Cobra is definitely chilling right now. Definitely chilling. Cool in general. No little current or anything like that. Either way, if we take a look at what's happening right now, let us take a look at the very latest still image from the Weather Nerds website. We can see the latest image just came out at 23:55 UTC. So considering that it's 7:05 p.m. right now, that just came out 10 minutes ago, and we still can make out the high cirrus cloud. Well, we can make out some of it across eastern Jamaica. But look at this. We see something across sections of southern St. Elizabeth right there. Let us see if we can match it to the latest Cuban Doppler radar imagery. Alright, so we just reloaded it, and the latest Doppler radar images as of 7 p.m. And look at that. Would you look at that? We have some greens into the yellows that represent some moderate to heavy rainfall currently lashing portion of southern St. Elizabeth as we speak. Maybe even section of southwestern Manchester getting in on some of the action too. If you're living in St. Elizabeth or southeast St. Elizabeth, please confirm. Let me know what's going on over there. And if we take a look at the Guantanamo Bay Cuban naval radar imagery, we can make out some rainfall right there to the southwestern peninsula of Haiti. If you take a look at the Cayman radar, we can make out some rainfall to the west and to the south of the Grand Cayman area. And if we also take a look at the latest Crossroads live cam from See Jamaica's YouTube channel, by the way, if you'd like to see more live streams like this one or the flat bridge that we showed earlier, just subscribe to See Jamaica on YouTube, especially considering that they're planning on increasing the amount of cameras that they have in and around the island. So subscribe so that you don't miss out. So clearly we can see that there is definitely fair weather taking place. Nobody with their umbrella, no windshield wipers on for sure across Crossroads as we speak. People walking about, going about their business. People in their vehicles going about their business. People over here waiting for public transportation. Nothing in terms of bad weather tonight at all. And if we take a look at the temperatures right now, we can see that we have 25 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 24 degrees Celsius in Kingston. Could definitely be hotter than that. But if we take a look at the temperature forecast for Tuesday morning at 4 a.m., temperature should dip down to about 23 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 22 degrees Celsius in Kingston. And if we take a look at the temperature forecast for tomorrow, this map from the GFS is valid for AT&T on Tuesday when calculated. That's about 1 p.m. on Tuesday, and we can see Jamaica right here with the eastern half of the island in grays and the western half of the island in yellows and slight oranges. That represents average to slightly above average temperatures. And we know that the average temperature for the month of December across Jamaica is around 87 degrees Fahrenheit. And when that's converted to degrees Celsius, that's about 30.6 degrees Celsius. So we should be receiving up to 30 degrees Celsius across the eastern end. The western end maybe 31 degrees Celsius at most. And we're indeed grateful that the MyJPS Online's Twitter page is not saying anything about any form of maintenance outage to wrap up the 2024 in general. We're grateful for that because you know that when we have power outages, it can definitely exacerbate the heat, considering that we don't have our fan or AC to cool us down. Either way, if tomorrow is going to be a bit too hot for you, we have some tips right here to beat the heat. It states here, when you're outside, seek shade, eat fresh, try eating cold foods such as salads and fruits, rest, make sure you get enough sleep and rest if you're feeling tired. So take a cool shower or bath to help you cool down. Keep hydrated, drink lots of water, even if you're not thirsty. Put away the sugary drinks, drink water instead. If we take a look at the dry air map, we know the dry air is represented by what we see on the key on the bottom. The yellows, the oranges, the reds and the whites within those reds, and we can see a lot of dry air right here off the coast of Africa. A lot of dry air right here across the northern portion of the North Atlantic, stretching down into the eastern Caribbean. A lot of dry air off the east coast of the US, stretching into the Gulf of Mexico, especially across the northwestern Gulf. That's where a lot of dry air is located. But wherever we see the grays into the blues, that's where we have a lot of moist air, and it makes sense that we have more rainfall in those areas across Jamaica, across the Bahamas, across section of the main development region, and section of the northern portion of North Atlantic right there. But regarding the Saharan dust forecast for 2 p.m. on Tuesday, we can see that North America, the Bahamas, majority of the Caribbean, Northern South America, Central America is in the clear. Jamaica is in the clear as well, because all of the dust that represents the Saharan dust, well, the Sahara, all of the dust particles that represent all of what we expect from the Sahara should be across the eastern main development region, as represented by the brown colors for sure. And we're indeed grateful that we're not seeing that vigorous plume that we know is represented by the dark shades of browns. You know, the dark shades of browns basically mean the vigorous plume that can cause very hazy skies, not to mention trigger some amount of respiratory illnesses in some persons, asthma, sinusitis, you name it. If we take a look at the wave forecast for tomorrow, we can see that the highest wave should be across the central to the eastern Caribbean in the dark blues, while the low wave height should be across the Gulf of Mexico and the western Caribbean. We know the least amount of waves or a wave height should be anywhere from 0 to 0.5 meter wave heights in the light shades of blues, 1 to 1.5 all the way up to 2 meter wave heights in the dark shades of blues up into the purples. And we see that on the north coast tomorrow for Jamaica, it should be 0.9 of a meter wave height. On the south coast, 1 meter wave height. And that's because of the winds that are expected. Clearly we can see across the Caribbean more of an easterly flow, averaging anywhere from 5 to 10 to 15 knots at most, maybe even gusting to 20 knots to the north of Colombia right there. And regarding Jamaica, on the north coast or on the northern side of the island, 15 knot winds from the east, southern side of the island out to sea, 11 knots. Across the island, 3 knots on the south coast, 6 knots on the north coast. Not really windy at all. Either way, if we get some isolated showers, it would more than likely be taking place across sections of southern Jamaica. But tomorrow is definitely going to be dry for sure. And we still have the upper level winds coming in from the southwest. So if we get some isolated afternoon rainfall, we're still going to be getting these cirrus clouds streaking across us from southwest to northeast. And if we take a look at the rainfall forecast, this map from the Euro and this map from the GFS are basically showing what's happening right now. The rainfall that we're seeing across St. Elizabeth 7 p.m. on Monday. And we saw that on the Doppler radar image. There's rainfall affecting southern St. Elizabeth as we speak. We also saw it on the latest still image of the infrared. So it's definitely making sense. But if we skip ahead now to about 8 a.m., the Euro is showing some rainfall out to sea to the southeast of Jamaica. The GFS is showing something similar, but it's definitely a bit closer. Too close for comfort. Maybe even affecting portions of eastern Jamaica, the far eastern end. We'll see exactly what unfolds. Which one will actually come to fruition? Will it be the Euro or will it be the GFS? Either way, skipping to 3 p.m., we can see the Euro is showing some dots of blues that represent rainfall, maybe across sections of eastern St. Andrew, western St. Thomas, maybe Manchester St. Elizabeth, sections of eastern Westmoreland, as well as southern St. James, maybe Hanover. The GFS, not so much, not much of anything. Maybe right here across northwestern St. Thomas, but that's basically it. Don't see the consensus for rainfall at all, looking drier than normal. But we can't rule out some isolated shores. There have been times in the past where the Euro and the GFS are not showing much rainfall and then we actually get rainfall. So we'll see exactly what unfolds. Let's see if the Euro wins this one with some rainfall across the south, or will it be the GFS with nothing at all. Either way, in terms of the accumulated precipitation forecast maps, not seeing much of anything, seeing more whites into grays than anything else. That's the low end of the scale in terms of rainfall. This is as dry as it gets, to be honest. We're in the last day of December. We're heading into the heart of the dry season in general. Well, not necessarily the heart. I believe the heart of the dry season is February, March. But we're getting there, heading into the second month of the dry season. Tomorrow is the last day of December. We'll definitely be coming with a final day of the year update to give you a summary of what happened for the month of December, if we actually had the predictions coming true in terms of the rainfall, as well as what's expected for January 2025. Either way, we're in the month of December. We usually receive up to at least 25 millimeters of rainfall in Kingston. That's about an inch of rainfall. And in Montego Bay, whose bar graph is being shown at the bottom, we usually receive close to 4 inches of rainfall. That's about 90 millimeters of rainfall. And like for you to keep in mind that if you'd like to find out what your specific parish usually receives for the month of December or for the entire year, you can visit weatherandclimate.com, and that website will show you that information. And you can use this nice graphic right here that converts rainfall that we receive on the rain gauge from inches to millimeters. You know that 1 inch of rainfall is about the same as 25 millimeters of rainfall, so you can do the math yourself. Alright, so that's it for the forecast across Jamaica. Let us focus our attention on the rest of the Caribbean. So as stated, we have the low level flow of the clouds being pushed from east to west across the Caribbean, especially across the southern Caribbean, which explains the rainfall that section of the ABC Islands and the Windward Islands are receiving. But we can also make out that upper level flow from the southwest or the west southwest, pushing from that direction to the northeast or to the east northeast for sure. Not having much rainfall underneath all of that. Most of the rainfall is underneath the easterly flow. And if we take a look at the Doppler radar images of the northeastern Caribbean, let's see what's happening over there near Puerto Rico. Not seeing much of anything at all, to be honest. Seeing some isolated shores near the eastern portions of San Juan. That's basically it. Nothing across the Leeward Islands. Let's see if we can load these images from about 120. What was happening? Not even seeing much of anything at all. Definitely dry times as we speak. Barbados radar not showing much of anything either. Maybe some isolated sprinkles across the waters to the north and east of Tobago. Not seeing much happening across Trinidad. The wide area of Doppler radar images showing some rainfall across sections of western Belize and northeastern Guatemala, sections of northern Honduras, sections of the ABC Islands and Colombia getting on some rainfall. And if we take a look at the rainfall forecast for tomorrow, this map from the Euro and this map from the GFS are both showing all the rainfall that's expected from now up until 10 p.m. on Tuesday. And we can see that there's definitely going to be some rainfall in store for a section of Belize, Guatemala, El Salvador, section of Honduras, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama, Colombia, western Venezuela, the ABC Islands, eastern Venezuela, Guyana, Suriname, French Guyana, Trinidad and Tobago getting in on some of the action too. We also see some rainfall in store for portions of the Leeward Islands according to the GFS, maybe some sprinkles according to the Euro too. Very interesting forecast. We'll see exactly what unfolds, and I'll definitely be here to keep you posted tomorrow with our weather video. Alright, so that's it. Thanks for watching.